Hi friends, I just want to show you this little free pattern I'm going to include in my jewelry kits. You're also going to, of course, have the flower patterns in there. So hopefully that's a good mix to get you started. I'm just going to use the same fabric and thread that's in the kit. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm just using a little 3-inch hoop here because I'm only going to do one. I'm just going to do Capricorn here. That's me. I'm using one of these friction pens. Is that how you say it? From Pilot. I'm still hearing mixed reviews on these as far as what happens when they get cold and if the ink returns. Basically, these pens, when you get them hot, they disappear, which is amazing. It makes me feel like a spy. But if you're doing some work that you're going to send across the country, like during the cold months, and your embroidery is going to be like basically in a cold truck for a couple days, there is a chance that the ink will return. So I've heard a few things. What you can do is include a nice little note that says, basically explains what to do if that happens. And what you do is you just hit it with a hairdryer. I plan on just covering these lines up so I don't even have to worry about it. But we'll see. There might be some leftover lines and then I'll hairdry them. See how well I do talking and tracing at the same time. Probably not great. Okay. So I'm going to basically treat this symbol as text. I want to use... basically you can use any stitch you want. Like the easiest way to go is going to be just doing like an outline and back stitch, and then you can fill it with brick stitch, which is, it's just back stitch used as a filler stitch. So let's see, as far as linear stitches go, you got your back stitch, split stitch, chain stitch, stem stitch. Use any of those. I think almost all of those are in my sampler tutorial video. Go check that out if you're unclear on any of those stitches. I have diagrams too on my website, but I'm not so good at learning from diagrams. I don't know about you guys. But what I'm going to do is satin stitch. Even though it takes forever, I thought it would be fun to do something different. And I think I'm going to outline first. So I'm going to outline and then I'll be right back. Hey, so I just finished going around the outline with a split stitch. See if I can get focused there. If you want, you can just do an outline and stop. You would probably not want to do these stitches here, or maybe you would, I don't know. If you want to make it look like this tail is kind of overlapping the stem here. So I just used 2 strands, and what I want to do is use the greens that are coming in the kit and do like an ombre effect. So I'm going to have the darker color here, the middle color here, and then the light color on the top. So that's 3 colors. So I'm going to use the pen to kind of mark on here thirds. So let's see. This is probably, so this, everything on the left of here is going to be the lightest, and then everything kind of below here will be the darker. And what I'll do is I'll kind of make it a little bit lighter where it folds over the top too, to give it a little more depth. So I'll show you what that looks like. Oopsies. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use 2 strands because that's what's already on my needle and I am lazy. So I'm just going to do some satin stitch here. And so the reason why I wanted to do the outline first is just to give it a little more definition, and hopefully that's what we'll get. And this is going to take forever, so I'm gonna kind of go offline for a little bit and work on it, but I'm just going slow. And 2 strands, like I said. I'm kind of going, like digging under a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense. So, and I come up, I'm coming up really tight to my outline, and then I'm kind of like getting underneath my stitch almost. And you can do this with any of these astrological signs. Whatever you want to do, you know. If you want to try this satin stitch with the ombre effect, go for it. If you want to just do satin stitch, if you want to fill the whole thing with back stitch, chain stitch, whatever your favorite stitch of the day is. And you don't have to outline it, or you can outline it in one color and then fill it with another. So what I'm going to do is skip this little section here. Kind of go over here, behind it really is what it is. And I'm trying to stay basically parallel to the line, or actually it would be perpendicular, wouldn't it? Perpendicular to the line. You can see it's not perfect. And it looks like that last stitch I didn't actually get outside my outline stitch. Am I still even on camera? Yeah. Sorry guys, sometimes I get going and I bring the hoop closer and closer to my face, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm filming. I like to use like my chest basically. I like to hold my hoop still, like as a ledge basically. So the hoop keeps migrating to my boobs is what I'm trying to say. That's just my technique. So I'm going to keep going and going and going around. I'm going to keep working this, and then once I start the other color, I'll come back on. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So I finished all of this, and then I also came in with the lighter of the greens and went to the top. But what I wanted to do is show you what I'm going to do here, and then show you how to blend using the middle green. And you can see how I changed the direction of the stitches as I ran around the corners. Like I said, I stay perpendicular to these guidelines. So like if these are railroad tracks, I'm the, what are those called? The wooden things that go over the tracks. Oh my gosh. You guys, I went to yoga this morning, so I kind of have yoga brain a little bit. Probably not the best time to do a video, but whatever. Life's more exciting this way. Okay. I saw a little gap I wanted to fill in. Alright, come on, autofocus. Alright, so what I'm going to do, make sure this stays focused here, is I'm just going to continue up this line a little bit, and I'm just going to pretend like these aren't even here. Okay? So just don't even worry about that garbage. So I'm kind of making like a, there will be like a cleft, I guess. Is that the right word? So I'm going, I don't want this to be this color, this section. I want it to be a little lighter as it goes over, but I'm kind of laying this as like a base. Okay, see how I just kept going, and so you kind of get the effect of this 3D look, right? Pretty cool. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I wanted it to be the other way, but it doesn't matter. I was gonna have the tail go over the stem, not the stem go over the tail, but whatevs. It'll still look cool. And you can do this with, like, this overlap with a couple of the Zodiacs here. Is it Zodiac? Astrological sign? I think those are interchangeable. Uh-oh. What has happened? Okay. So to do the blending, what I'm going to do is grab a single strand of this middle color, and I am going to show you what that looks like. Usually I would go ahead and just fill in the empty space I have there with the 2-strand satin stitch of the middle color here, but I want to show you this first, and then I'll fill in that space off camera because it's just more of what I've been doing. Okay, so I'm going to anchor and get it again so it doesn't pull out. Oh, okay. So here we are. So what I'm going to do is anywhere that's going to touch this middle color, I'm going to add a couple of strands, a couple of stitches here of this single thread. See how it blends in? That's what I want it to do. So I don't want like harsh lines at the color changes. I want blending. So that's what I'm doing. I'm blending here. So there's going to be more lines at the transition and then fewer lines as you get further away. Come on, camera, you can do it. Let's all root for my camera here. I think for Christmas I might get myself like a fancier setup here. Oopsies. Come on. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. This came unfocused again. I'm so sorry, you guys. Let me do a little extra one up here. Alright, and then I'm going to go up to the light green and do the same thing. And you want to keep the tension the same so that you don't get like dents in your previous satin stitch, you know what I mean? You want these threads to lay over the top and not create little dents. Alright, and I've got these two over here to do. And then I'm going to fill in with the 2 strands of satin stitch and come back. Now originally I was thinking I would outline this whole thing with another color to make it stand out even more. But let's see how it looks when I'm done. If I feel like I need to do that. Hey, so I decided I would go ahead and outline. You can see that the blending looks pretty good, the ombre. I really like it. But I think it'll just look a little more sharp if I outline it. Plus, it'll hide any stray satin stitches that aren't perfect. That's the problem with the satin stitch. It's like, it's gorgeous, but if you mess up, like everybody knows. So I am going to hide my mistakes. So there you go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do backstitch with a single strand of the navy all the way around, and then when I'm done I will cut this out to fit the tag. Did I just stitch into the, yeah, I need to fix that. So I'm gonna cut this out to fit here, stick it in a necklace, and that's it. So make sure you watch the other video. I do have a little trick where I like to put some glue around the edge before I cut to avoid any fraying, yada yada. So go check that out too before you put your necklaces or bracelets together. Awesome! Thank you guys.